Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. I know I've got a lot of new subscribers. Thank you. I hope you have fun hanging out with me. That's what I like YouTube for, and hopefully you enjoy it too. I just like to hang out with other people as they work on art and do cool things and junk journal. And so that's a lot of what I try to do here on this channel. And I do a mix. So I find the art journal, the art journaling world and the junk journaling world are close companions. And I do a lot of both and just a lot of art in general. And I will go into more detail later in this video because this is just a quick video really fast to show you this kit before I cut it up. But I found out that there's another set of YouTubers who are doing an Alice in Wonderland sort of challenge in April, and some of my very first videos on YouTube were me making art, Alice in Wonderland themed art for an Alice in Wonderland themed junk journal and junk journal kit. Fast forward, that journal never really came to fruition, largely because I was trying to do it in an altered book and things went awry. And I sort of salvaged a lot of the things I liked that I'd done in that book, and put them aside, and determined that I would get back to it later. And so now is that time. And I'm not aiming to finish anything in April, but I am gonna try and spend a little bit of time working on Alice again. So the first way that that's going to happen is I'm going to pull out all of the Alice stuff. I really hope you don't mind watching Sassy here. I was away for a couple hours and she's feeling lonely. So, but yeah, I'm gonna pull out all the stuff I salvaged from that original journal and start fresh on a larger sort of traditional journal. But then I also was playing around with altered playing cards and got a wild idea and decided that I wanted to make a new kit using a lot of that same art, but in a different way. And I'm making Alice's Mad Deck of Cards. I sat for, I don't know, an hour or two and sanded both sides of this entire deck of cards here to get it ready for this, even before I had the kit ready. And then I played around with the sizing and pockets to make sure things would fit. Thank you, Sassy. And I decided I would make a little sort of accordion style altered playing card journal. So the whole point is to make a bunch of pages with pockets to put my playing cards in, and to put them all together with a series of paper hinges. So that thing can be as big or as small as you might want it to be, but it is large enough. There are enough pages to support a whole deck of cards if that's what you want to do. I think 29 pages. Most of them are going to be like this, which is the background page and the hinges, because we need a lot of those. And this is what they look like. And then, in addition to that, these things are printed a bit out of order. We have some fun ephemera pages. These are more hinges, by the way. Yeah, so these are all pages and hinges. And then some fun ephemera. Yes, I realize this guy is too big to fit in a journal whose pages are all this size, but like, he's just too cool. So, you know, for some of these, the images were fun and I just went bonus. And if you really wanted to put them in this book, you could print them 2 to a page and they would absolutely fit. But yeah, lots of little fun ephemera bits, ephemera pieces. Something weird. Oh, this printed on a weird piece of backing paper rather than my matte. This is all matte presentation paper. I have an Epson printer and I print best quality on that matte presentation paper. So the stack looks massive, even though it is only 29 pages. And this was mixed in there, and I think it was a backing page for the pack of paper I opened, and I didn't realize it. I still like how it printed, so I'm not mad at it. More ephemera. These butterflies were in the original kit. I just love them so much. I printed more. And then lots of pages of different types of pockets. So you have a variety of pocket styles. It's not all the same pocket over and over. More pages with hinges. So pretty. Pages with hinges, pockets. So that is basically the whole kit. Pockets, pages, hinges, and some fun ephemera. And of course, you don't have to use this with altered playing cards. You can just do journaling cards. You can use, again, as many or as few of these as you want. But my goal will be to cover these and play around with them and put them into this little silly, mad accordion book. So I will be back with more information about the challenge. I'll show you the stuff I salvaged from my previous Alice kit. And we'll keep rocking and rolling then. So for me, it'll be a while, but for you, it'll be just a moment. As promised, I'm back. And I have information and more. So the challenge this month that I was referring to is the Go Ask Alice JJ. And it's just a very casual work on an Alice in Wonderland themed journal, hosted by Audrey at Odds and Ends and Mystic Dawn Art. And I cut out all of the little, I don't know, pages, I guess. Yeah, pages. We'll call them pages. So we can work a bit on the accordion that I have in mind, and I can show you what I'm doing. These are all of the hinges. The hinges are printed on one side in case the way that you use these, your hinges would show. Mine are not going to show, but it doesn't hurt to have some cute hinges. Who knows how else I might use them. And I've given it a bit of a start. So I'm just going to do a full accordion, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And the way that I'm doing it is I'm front and back. So I'm taking these pages, I'm putting the hinges on, and then I'm putting another page on so that the pages will all be covered front and back. I haven't done it on these ones yet. And that's partly because I wasn't thinking, and I put the hinge on this first page, backed it, and then realized I hadn't put a hinge on this other side. So that automatically means that that is an end page. Unless I wanted to make a visible hinge, which at the moment I do not. So I'm still cutting things out. I'm going to cut out some of these pockets. I've got a few, but not a lot. So still working on cutting things out. But what I'm going to do is just demonstrate really quickly how I'm putting these together. So that you can see the basic principle of how I am using the kit. My plan is to get the structure here all in place of all of the pages, and then to go back and add the pockets and start making the playing cards and start, decorating. So just fold the hinge in half. I was trying to be fancy and score them, I thought that that would make it easier to fold them in half. It did not. They kept getting a little sideways. So that's okay. And then I'm just taking some of my nice gloopy glue. Oh, I'm putting it on a hinge. Let's put it in the right place. So I'm going to put it on the other side of this hinge that's already covered. Apparently the glue has a sound effect. And then real important thing I keep trying to make sure I'm doing, just make sure things are right side up. If it's directional, make sure it's right side up. I'm not going to put, I don't like that, that white hair, opposite this page. So I'm going to switch it out. And then I like to line it up against the hinge when the hinge is engaged, and to make sure that it's still going to be able to fold all the way, because if you get it in there too close, it can hinder the hinging of the hinge. And then I just get it all, try and make sure it's as even as possible. I have a feeling, because of how large this is going to get, there is a distinct possibility that this thing is going to get a bit wonky and not be perfectly flat and straight on bottom from end to end. And honestly, I'm good with that. You'll notice if you look closely at the art I did for this kit that my interpretation of Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass is rather focused on the madness, the silliness, lack of rules, things like that, the mess of it all. And, you know, some of these pages, this may drive some of you nuts. And if it does, this is the kind of stuff that's going to keep you up at night. This is not the kit for you. Now I can't find it. Some of these text pages, oh, this actually is a good one. They are not going to be perfectly straight. I like that things are going off the page. I like that things are wonky. Again, that may not be for you, and I understand. So once we have glued that on, then the next thing I like to do, and I do want to kind of, knowing me, I will do this entire accordion before remembering that there are backing pages to be used. So I'm trying very hard to come back here and back things. I just need to remember to have hinges on both sides before we get that backing on. Okay, so we have our direction. Let's pick a page. Fine. Kind of like this hatness. Yes, let's do that. And then when I back, I like to go over first with glue stick, and then sometimes for things like this in particular, I will do the edges with that glue. It's sort of the combo approach to try and get all of the edges and everything stuck on really well and really flat. I don't tend to like to use the liquid glue for a large piece because I don't want ridges, and I don't want to have to get all weird and you know, spread stuff out. I know there's a whole bunch of different ways that people do that. This seems to be what works for me, at least right now. And we're just gonna glue. And nice and sticky. And then there is no right side up for this one, but this, I'm gonna use the ladies at the bottom as my sort of directional compass here. I'm trying to get this lined between the two pretty evenly. Make sure, again, that the hinge can hinge. and it can just bear, I think I put it a little too far over. That's okay. There's gluing to be had. There's washi tape. There's all kinds of things. So yeah, I thought I had this too far in one direction, pushed it farther in the other, almost too far, but not quite. And again, yeah, that's okay. And because this is a very repetitive, tedious sort of process, I'm not going to sit and glue all of these into an accordion in front of you, because we both have better ways to use that time. But as we do things, I will give updates. I will just say, for those of you who are new to my channel, I tend to work on things in drips and drabs and shift between one project to another frequently. I admire those people who are like, this month I'm gonna make a thing, and then they make the whole thing from front to back, start to finish, and maybe they do some other side stuff, but like, they do the whole thing. I found with art, I really don't work that way. I want to do the thing while I am engaged with the thing, and then at some point I am going to have my attention directed elsewhere and get enthusiastic about some other thing and need to go work on that. Or sometimes I will get pretty far through something, decide that I'm not sure yet what else it needs, and wait a beat before coming back to it. I think that's okay, but it does mean that sometimes I struggle to provide a video that feels complete, because I don't have that sort of linear style of making. So do please bear with me. It is possible that Alice will happen for a few videos and then disappear. It's possible that I'll get sidetracked almost immediately after I post this and not come back to Alice for a little while. That's not the intention, but just fair warning, because it really is just how I work. I fought it for a little while. I don't anymore. So the other part I wanted to share before we end today, I want to talk a little bit about my original Alice kit and project. So the first time I tried to do this, save you feeling like you need to go back and look at any old videos, I had this old copy of Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, and I love it. I love these bunnies, the hair on the front, the spine. I love the illustrations inside. And so I was bound and determined to make an altered book. I wasn't even bothered that, you know, there was some wear down there. I love the distress of it. I was still learning a lot about altered bookmaking, and I still am. I'm finding not my favorite way to work in some cases, although I may have finally found a technique I like. And Kelly at Book and Paper Arts had warned us. She did a wonderful video. I'm not sure I can find the video, but I will definitely link to her channel because everything she does is worth watching. Going through and talking about finding a suitable book to use for an altered book project. And one of the things that she had mentioned was that the book pages should be straight. So they should come straight out from the spine. And if they were curved in some way, and you will know if that's the case. Like your average book, straight pages. If they sort of curve into the spine at an odd angle, as you get deeper into the book in particular, she said that would only end in tears. And while I did not cry, she was right. I think over a couple of things that I think I probably this was one of the first attempts, and I wanted to use something I love because I am trying really hard to, you know, use the good art supplies. Life is short, use the good art supplies. And so I just worked with what I had, and I really didn't like the result, and the pages weren't gluing together the way that I thought they should. And anyway, I ended up harvesting the book block out of the book so I can still use this cover. I saved a lot of the pages. You can see some of them had some paint. This is a whole hodgepodge. A lot of these are the pages I painted to use in the kits. So a lot of these are individual pages. These would have been the ones that I harvested when I first tried to use the book as an altered book project. But then I also ended up taking out the glued pages and sort of setting them aside to see if I might be able to do something with them. So we shall see. So this was definitely one of the pages with this little sort of pocket element on it. That one down there. So some of these I'm going to see how I can use them. This was fun. It's sort of a little pocketed belly bandy, yeah. Belly band sort of, yeah, tag. That's the word. I've not been great with my words lately. Bear with me. Or don't. But yeah, either way, it's not going to change my command of language at the moment. But I like that. This was accidental. I had made a mistake while printing and things got cut off, and I just turned them into one tag and actually really love it. So yeah, you can see I had these thick pages that I created by gluing things together, but there's a lot of, I don't know how well they show up on the camera, a lot of bubbles and a lot of wrinkles and just weirdness. And it was worse when they were in the book than it is right now. So I'm going to see what I can salvage of this. I'm not sure how much I'm going to choose to salvage, and that's okay. Sometimes I find that it's hard to let things go, and when you step away, they're easier to let go of. And so, you know, I've had some time away from this project that may help me to let go of. There was a whole bunch of like, I don't want to waste that paper. I printed it on printer paper that was too thin, so I'm going to make a way to use it. And, you know, all of that kind of printed stuff that I didn't like as I was working on the kit, and I would scrub it from the kit, but then I would still try to use it. That's great in theory, not always in practice. So I have to go through all of these elements that I started putting together, again, most on very cheap copy paper, because it was right as I was starting to work on these things, and I am not sure that I should keep everything. I do like these big giant tags. I do like this guy smiling at me. And honestly, my favorite element right here, this belly band of teacups, and they're all little pockety tuck spots. So I just need to make more teeny tiny tags to go in them. But yeah, I just layered them all topsy-turvy, and definitely was my favorite thing I did. Also, one of the very last things I did as I was sort of mentally giving up. So, you know, you gotta just kind of accept where the art leads you, or at least that's how I feel. This was from a Flow magazine or book, and I just liked it, and I thought, you know, Cheshire Cat, why not? So yeah. Ooh, and this was a little jelly print I made with some little clocks. Anyway, it's going to be a lot of me doing some work on that accordion journal that I have, but then also starting to spend some time with the remnants of attempt number 1, maybe go back through the kit and reprint some things on better paper and accept that, you know, I didn't know what I was doing, and I've learned a lot since then. And then I've been thinking a little bit about what I want to use as my journal pages, journal innards. I have both of these sort of pre-made journal-ish. Yeah, this was a hinge book made of 3 different sort of medium-sized paper bags. I will say it fits in the book block very nicely. Now once I load it up with stuff, it'll go all gator on me, but you know, that's life. And I also can consider taking the spine off, repurposing it perhaps, and just doing something with the front and the back covers. This obviously doesn't fit in as nicely, but if I took the spine off, I could kind of put it on the front and the back, which I would want to do anyway, because this is also an accordion. And if I put this in against that spine, I'm going to lose the back pages. But much like the other accordion, I sort of, well, this one is a wonky mess. Like, I tried to fold it somewhat carefully, and it just got all wonky, so the things are not straight. They don't entirely line up. It's a big old mess, and honestly, that feels very right for this project. Plus, you know, it mirrors the other accordion that I'm working on right now. So I'm kind of going between them. I would love, if you have thoughts on whether I should use either of these as my journal base for the bigger journal, I would love to hear those thoughts. I am not in any sort of rush. So tell me what you think. And that's it. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. I had time to kill between appointments today. And I was near Hobby Lobby. I don't shop there too often. But I did go in. I'm wandering around and I find the bead section. And I'm just like looking at stuff. I wasn't intending to get anything. I really was just killing time. But I saw this little fairy tale bead section. I noticed they actually had a lot of Alice in Wonderland themed stuff, most of which is cute, but my Alice aesthetic honestly is quite different than a lot of the other ones out there. I don't use a lot of black and red. I'm just not a fan of red. And while I do work it in, it is definitely not one of the dominant colors. And so, you know, but I love these little playing cards. They were in a separate section, obviously, but they'll just be fun to use in a variety of projects, not necessarily just this one. But I did really like these keys, just again, more as a generalized thing. And then as far as Alice goes, this little Cheshire Cat bottle stole the show for me. The Cheshire Cat is one of my favorite sort of symbols from the books. It always has been. And the smile without the cat, I just, the little glass bottle, just, it's everything for me. So I had to pick that, and it's all half off. So if you're working on your own Alice journal, and this kind of stuff inspires you, or you want to see what other kinds of things are available from this line, they had a lot of Alice stuff, specifically little book charms, rabbit charms. There was even little parasols with hearts on it, just really cute things. So I definitely would recommend checking that out if you have a Hobby Lobby near you. I can't guarantee that they will carry this line or even the same items, but definitely a lot there. And I wanted to let people know because I picked them up literally today. So I will be back again soon with this or another project. If you enjoyed yourself, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. And if you hit the little bell, you can select to receive notifications of all my videos. Again, let me know what you think I should use as I start to revisit this other journal. I will do my best to link info about the challenge, the kits, etc. in the description box below. Thanks for joining me today. See you again soon.